Okay, hello everyone. I hope y'all been having a good night on this Halloween. I don't get into that all together like that. I supposed to been like a character from one of my poems, which was the Bag Lady. So I'm Bag Lady Roshonda today, okay? The Bag Lady Roshonda, based on my poem, The Bag Lady's Dream. Um, Based on the poem A Bag Lady's Dream. One night among the chilling cold, I dreamt a dream that I was old, out there lying on a bench, when the wind began to pinch, right? And so on and so forth. It goes into more detail, but I can't hardly remember. I wrote that many, many years ago. But anyway, I figure I'd put this on for y'all and give y'all a poem that will still be yet another helpful one, but on narcissists again, unfortunately. This is a hollow tale, right? This is a hollow tale by Bag Lady Roshonda, okay? Y'all ready? Bear with me because it's chicken scratch big time. So, and I do like that and I write it up too fast. I'm quite sure that I'm going to might stumble over words, but I just don't have time to rewrite it tonight, right? But, it may be times when I mess up. I'm just letting y'all know. But I don't want to claim that yet. I'm going to try to give y'all the best that I got and hopefully I don't mess up, right? Alrighty, okay. The name of this poem, the name of this story today, and like I don't like showing y'all the top of my head and stuff like that, but unfortunately, I gotta look at the paper, guys, so just bear with me, okay? Alrighty, like the hit? Here it go. Okay. The name of the story is Narcalonious, a hollow tale by the Bag Lady, Roshonda, right? Okay. Christine and her husband Tom lived in an old ghost-filled house that belonged to an old evil doctor named Narcalonious. Narcalonious was the true definition of pure evil. He hated children, old people, women, men, puppies, kittens, and even newborn babies. Although he hated them so and ruthlessly haunted them daily, he knew he still needed them in order to survive. You see, Narcalonius knew that haunting them and keeping them afraid and drowning in their own fears gave him energy. Not only would he pop up in their dreams, closets, mirrors, and under the beds, he would also make things come up missing every year on the same day at the same time. For instance, it would be things like their favorite hairbrush would go missing, pets, pieces of jewelry, and sometimes even their own close friends. One day, Tom was rummaging through the attic. When Tom was rummaging through the attic, he stumbled across the old letter hanging out loosely from the crevices of an old dresser, which was handwritten by Narcalonius' deceased wife. Bonicia is what her name was. So he found a letter from Bonicia, who was Narcalonius' deceased wife, right? Which appeared to be slightly stained with blood. But that didn't stop Tom's curiosity. The letter read as follows: To whom it may concern, or to whoever reads this letter, just know that my husband was a very hateful, disrespectful, abusive, self-absorbed, evil man who literally starved me to death, killed my favorite pet bird, and broke one finger during each year that I resided with him. So if you're wondering why this letter is written so sloppy, I'm on year 8 now. And at this point, I'm just hoping and praying that I would just die because I just can't take it anymore. Signed, Bo. Crap. Okay, so she signed the letter, right? Signed the letter, Bo. She didn't get the right Bonicia because the husband had caught her when she was writing it. So he cracked another finger. It was her 9th finger that was cracked. Because remember, she had 8. She was with him 8 years so far, so 8. And that was the 9th finger that he cracked, right? So she couldn't finish the letter at that time. She tucked it away and hid it, before he caught her and seeing what she was actually doing. All right. So when she got the opportunity and Narcalonius was fast asleep, she decided to continue with the letter. It stated, P.S. If you have taken up residency here after I'm gone, please just leave immediately, because perhaps I'm convinced he will always be living within the very core of this house, just waiting to torture some loving family. So please, just leave, because it will only get worse. He feeds off of others' reactions, fears, and he absolutely hates the word no, so I would dare not say it, ever. Okay? Then suddenly Tom rushed to show his wife Christine the letter and came up with a plan to stop reacting, no longer show fear, and use the word no loudly every chance they got on Halloween. Okay, no, every chance they got, right? Alrighty. On Halloween night, Narcalonious was in rare form. Not only was he terrorizing the inside of the house, but he also terrorized the children outside as they walked around or whatever. Okay, so as well. And yet again, another one of Tom and Christine's friend came up missing. As the night matured, Narcalonious prepared himself to give Tom and Christine the scare of their life by hanging their dog Spider by his tongue and filling him with Pez candy and slitting his throat to allow the candies to slowly fall on the floor. God, look what he did to that dog. That's crazy, right? It took everything for Tom and Christine not to react. He began to lift their bed up high off the ground and dropped it to the floor as hard as he could. They still showed no fear. Narcalonious began to appear to look not only thinner, but shorter, and appeared to even be losing his hair. As he looked in the mirror with his yellowing red eyes, he was confused, but that didn't stop him from one last attempt, which would be the ultimate ending to regain control over Tom and Christine. He thought to himself, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to hobble them tonight. And if everybody, I'm just going to interject and say, hobbling is, if you saw the movie Misery, when the lady took and put the log between the man's ankles and tied his feet to both sides and then hit the foot, it broke the ankles, right? So that's what hobbling is, y'all. I mean, it messed up the story, but that was like a little intermission. So back to the story, okay? That was the ultimate thing that he could think of to regain control over Tom and Christine. He thought to hobble them and then take his sword and cut their hands off at the wrist, right? Cut their hands off at the wrist. Not only would that awake them with fear, but they would never be able to challenge him again. Matter of fact, he thought to himself, I'll just bury them in the basement and wait for the next tenants to appear. Fresh meat. A possible family of 5 would definitely help me regain my energy and give me enough supply for at least the next 3 years. Suddenly he crept into Tom and Christine's room and stood over them with his sword. He raised it up high over his head and uttered the words, "You will fear me." And he uttered it again, because I guess Tom and Christine must have been sleeping a little hard. So he uttered it again. "You will fear me." Then out of the darkness came a beautiful ghost named the beautiful ghost of Bonicia, yelling, "No!" which awoke Tom and Christine out of their sleep and caused them to also yell out, "No!" Not only did Narcalonious land on his own sword, but suddenly, not only did Narcalonious land on his own sword, but suddenly, Ghost Bonicia began breaking each of his 10 fingers as he bled out in order to represent all the 10 years she had been tortured and miserable while with him. And guess what, guys? The whole time, Narcalonious wasn't even a ghost. He actually was a real live person who actually just hid in a secret room in the house the whole time and caused havoc on anyone who decided to reside in that home. He just was mean that way, right? Caused havoc on anybody that he came in contact with or decided to live in that home and made them think he was a ghost. But the entire time, he wasn't. But you know what? There, Narcalonious laid, as dead as a doorknob, like an old possum who faked his death for the last time in the wrong part of the highway. Oh well, guys, I guess the message for today would be, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Okay? And I just want to say one thing, y'all. That is based on what narcissists do sometimes. He needed their energy, basically. He needed their energy. He needed them to fear him. He needed them to react to the things that he was doing to them, and that's normally what happens sometimes when you deal with a narcissist. And, just, and they don't like to be told no. That's like a no-no. But everybody's entitled to say no. No means no, right? Everybody's entitled to that. And if they get too wild and crazy when you say no, then I don't know what to tell you. Get the hell up out of there. Run for your life. Because I don't want none of y'all to have, none of my people to be out here getting hurt or nothing like that, right? But yes, at the end of the day, that's your right to say no. You know what I'm saying? Okay? You have to be wise and careful at times when you do certain things until you are able to get out of a situation sometimes, okay? All righty. But anyway, I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this short hollow tale from Bag Lady Roshonda. Okay? Until we meet again on another holiday, much love to you guys. Have a blessed night.